Chike walked away from the cave with Nnamdi's words echoing in his mind, with his heart filled with emotions. His younger brother, the one he thought was innocent and supportive, had been the mastermind behind his downfall. But Chike was not one to give up easily. He had been raised with integrity and determination, and he knew that if he was going to reclaim what it was rightfully his, he would need to fight back, this time with strategy and cunning. The first thing Chike did was visit Sarah. She had been traumatized by the kidnapping, but seeing Chike brought her some comfort. He didn't tell her the full truth about Nnamdi's betrayal, not wanting to burden her with more pain. Instead, he assured her that everything would be alright and that he would protect her no matter what. Chike knew he couldn't confront Nnamdi directly. His brother was too cunning and has already proven to be a formidable opponent. Instead, Chike decided to gather evidence to expose Nnamdi's treachery in a way that would leave no doubt about who the real criminal was. He started by quietly reconnecting with some of the loyal employees at the company, people who had known him for years and had seen the recent changes. He didn't say much, just asked them to keep their eyes and ears open for anything suspicious. He also began to discreetly investigate the accident that nearly claimed his life, suspecting that there might be clues that would point back to Nnamdi. Meanwhile, Nnamdi had taken over the company, relishing his new position of power. He was careful to maintain his image as the charming, unassuming younger brother who had simply stepped in to help when needed. But behind closed doors, he was ruthless, cutting costs, pushing employees harder than ever, and making deals that benefited him personally rather than the company as a whole. One night, after weeks of digging, Chike found his first real lead to some evidence he needed. An old friend from the police force who had investigated the accident revealed that there had been a significant payout to one of the mechanics who worked on Chike's car shortly before the crash. The money had come from an account that led back to a shell company, one that Chike recognized as being under Nnamdi's control. This was the proof he needed. Chike felt a surge of hope, but he knew that this wasn't enough to bring Nnamdi down. He needed to expose everything: the kidnapping, the blackmail, the accident, and he needed to do it in a way that would leave Nnamdi with no way to escape. Chike contacted Uche. Despite their troubled relationship, Chike knew that Uche had also been a pawn in Nnamdi's game. He hoped that Uche's anger at being used would be enough to turn him into an ally. They met in a quiet bar, far from prying eyes. Uche was initially skeptical, still harboring resentment towards Chike, but as Chike laid out the evidence he had gathered, Uche's expression changed from disbelief to fury. "Nnamdi, that snake?" Uche smuttered, clenching his fists. "I should have seen it. I was also blinded by my own anger that I didn't realize I was being manipulated." Chike nodded. "We both were, but we can't let him get away with this. I need your help, Uche. Together, we can expose him and take back what's ours." Uche was silent for a long moment, struggling with his emotions. Then he looked up with determination in his eyes. "All right, Chike, I'm with you. Let's bring him down." With Uche's help, Chike set the final piece of his plan in motion. They carefully leaked information to the right people: employees, business partners, even the media, painting a picture of Nnamdi's corruption and manipulation. But the real blow came when they confronted Nnamdi at a board meeting. The room was tense as Chike and Uche walked in, surprising everyone including Nnamdi. Chike, with a calmness that belied the storm inside him, addressed the board. "Ladies and gentlemen, there's something you all need to know about how this company has been run since I stepped down as CEO," Chike began. He then proceeds to present the evidence, bank records, the mechanic's testimony, and even a recording of the phone call threatening him, which he had managed to obtain through careful planning. The board members were stunned. Nnamdi tried to interrupt, but Uche cut him off. "Don't even try to deny it, Nnamdi. You have been playing us all, but your game is over." Nnamdi's face turned pale as he realized that his carefully constructed empire was crumbling before his eyes. The board members, who had once been charmed by Nnamdi's personality, now looked at him with contempt and suspicion. One of the senior board members spoke up. "Nnamdi, given the overwhelming evidence against you, I see no choice but to call for an immediate vote to remove you from your position." Nnamdi's word came crushing down. He tried to argue, to plead, but it was too late. The board members voted unanimously to remove him, and the decision was final. With Nnamdi's dismissal from the company, Chike was reinstalled as CEO. However, he knew that the damage Nnamdi had done would take time to repair. Employees who had been mistreated, deals that had been made in bad faith, and the general atmosphere of distrust, all these were now Chike's responsibility to fix. But Chike was not discouraged. He had faced the worst and had come out stronger. With Uche by his side, the two brothers began to carefully work on rebuilding the company's reputation and restoring the value that Obinna, their father, had always installed in them. As for Nnamdi, he disappeared from the public eye. Rumors spread that he had left the country, unable to face the disgrace he had brought upon himself, but no one knew for sure. Chike and Uche decided to let the past go, focusing instead on the future they would build together. Obinna, their father, who had watched everything unfold with a heavy heart, was proud of the way his sons had finally come together. Though the journey had been painful, it had brought them closer, forging a bond that was stronger than ever before. The company flourished, and Uche became the president of the company, while Chike got married to Sarah, and Nnamdi asked for forgiveness, and they all lived happily.